It's over. Time to say it again, Boston. Anything's possible. Banner number 18 has been secured. Brown goes inside. Oh, what a slam from Jaylen Brown. Oh, Pritchard banks in the three at the buzzer. Great in and out dribble. Oh, he set off the smoke detector.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your Celtics Source. Quick preview of NBA Finals. The Indiana Pacers, the Oklahoma City Thunder, two teams nobody thought were going to be here 24 months ago. Let's talk about it. Who's going to win, Zach? I want to go straight to the hot take.
Yeah, obviously I think we all have Thunder. We'll dive into, maybe how can the Pacers steal a game here or there, make it a series, at least competitive.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be 4 or 5, but I definitely don't think these games are blowouts. Right? I think there's a way to make this a competitive series if you're Indiana.
I think that's right. I'm going to go straight up OKC in 5. I think Pacers are good. I would like to would like to give the Knicks some credit. They really, I think, outperformed, in our opinion on this show, outperformed what they were capable of. And so we should give them credit where credit is due. Not that I'm sorry to see them go, but credit where credit is due. Good job, Knicks. Not the result you wanted, but 6 games against the Pacers. It's good. You made them sweat. You made them work.
Yeah, we talk about the Knicks season real quick here. You have a great season overall, right? You win 50 plus games. Yeah. You are unable to beat the top 3 teams in the league at any point in the season, besides in the playoffs, right, where you beat the Celtics. You come into the series, into the playoffs, you have a hard-fought battle between the Pistons, and it looks like the Pistons are taking that next step forward.
Yeah.
And then you dominate in crunch time against the Celtics to, beat them handedly, I would say, probably in 6 games.
Yep.
And then you have a chance to go to the NBA Finals in a season where nobody expects you to do anything, and you kind of blow it after Game 1. Right? You're up 20. You have a chance to take Game 1 at home, and you just waste it away. And then
I believe the word you're looking for is
I don't even know if that's a word. I think they couldn't breathe out there.
It's a style of play.
Yeah. But as for this finals, that Game 5, right? The Knicks turned it on defensively,
for sure,
and that's nowhere near the type of defense you're going to see from the Thunder, which is why, I think the Pacers got a test of what it's going to be like, but take that next step up. Can the Pacers find any way to score?
I don't think so. I mean, they've got great shooters, there's no question, but I thought the Knicks played good D, right? Robinson, great. Like, they really did play. They punched above their weight on the D, and the Pacers found ways to score, but it wasn't pretty. You know what I mean? Like, it was a lot of those, they moved the ball 12 times, fade away, makes the basket. I'm not saying don't count, but they looked like they were struggling. They also gave up a lot. The Knicks gave up so many points in fast break and transition. Like, OKC is not going to do any of that. They're going to play clamps.
Yeah, let me add in on that. That's where I think the Thunder are going to struggle, because the Knicks play great defense.
Struggle, or the Pacers?
Or sorry, the Pacers are going to struggle. Right? The Knicks played great defense half court on.
Yeah.
The problem is they were just undisciplined getting back on missed shots or even made shots. Like, there were maybe 5 or 6 plays last night.
Really bad
A score in a basket, and not even a score. It was on a 3, so you have time to get back because it's going to be a 3 and takes more time to pick up a rebound or even if it scores. And yet you have Pascal Siakam streaking down the floor and Mikal Bridges
multiple times,
just not even taking 2 steps just to chase them down, and which is why I think the Pacers are going to struggle, because you're not only going to get the good defense, which the Knicks provided in the series, but at another level, but they're also not going to be undisciplined enough to let
Yeah.
you get those free points.
They're not. I mean, that's exactly right. Like, I mean, last night it was pretty egregious the way the Knicks let the Pacers run away with that. I mean, I don't have the stats. Our interns aren't working this weekend, but they must have scored a dozen points on fast breaks. No, just on those egregious fast breaks.
Just on the egregious one? I think
it was like a
30
dozen points
off of turnovers, which is not all,
No, I don't count turnovers. That's kind of separate.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
they just, they miss a shot and just nobody goes back, or it's just like. So, I think that OKC is going to take that away, and so I mean, for the Pacers to win, they got to score. I think they're going to struggle to break 100. I mean, and that you can't beat OKC.
Well, I mean,
if you score 98,
the Pacers were, I think, 0-4 in these playoffs when they didn't score 100 points or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
I believe, or sorry, 110 points, I believe it was.
Yeah.
They didn't. They either scored, low 100s or in the 20s. Like there weren't any, mid 100.
I mean, I think they definitely steal a game. We've seen OKC falter, but we've been surprised repeatedly in these playoffs. Cleveland, Boston.
There are definitely flaws to OKC. Everyone knows these flaws, but I don't think any team has been able to exploit these flaws, right? And one of the flaws is OKC is not a great three-point shooting team.
No.
If you can keep them out on the perimeter and make SGA become a passer, SGA is actually not a great playmaker for others. He is a score-first guy who, obviously, he's elite, another step above a guy like Anthony Edwards or whatever. Yeah. But he hasn't developed yet the all-around playmaking, and he doesn't rebound. And he's a small guard, so you make him pass the ball out, and you make some of those basically guys that are just in there for defense to take a couple of threes. That's how you can keep this game close, and then get little points here and there on the margins.
I think that's right. I don't know the Pacers can do that because you've got to really. Those guys thrive not only in the paint, but they love the mid-range jumper. Love it. And I think if you can take those away, maybe play six bigs, then no. But if you can take those plays away and force them to the three-point line and make them beat you at threes, I just don't think Indiana can do that for 48 minutes.
Everyone, for 4 games. That's the game plan for everyone in every series against OKC. But no team has been able to do it. No.
Ironically, the team that would have been best to do it had they done well is the Celtics. They're actually equipped theoretically to stop an offense.
Someone brought this point up earlier, or on a different video or whatever. The Nuggets, they came the close to beating OKC this season.
Yeah.
The Nuggets also swept the Celtics last season in their regular season matchup.
Yeah.
Had the Nuggets not lost to the Wolves last season, they could have beaten the Celtics in the finals. And then we're
maybe. I don't know the regular season is as good an indicator as for postseason because, by then it matters a lot who's healthy and how healthy and, how's the team grooving. The Celtics just played terribly against the Knicks. It just was awful to watch. And so, if they had been playing 6 weeks earlier when Porzingis is just putting up 27 a game, so, timing matters a lot too, I think.
Yeah, I mean, what was I going to say? I was going to say that, the Thunder, the Pacers, they just got hot at the right time against the Knicks on some of those, especially in games 1 and 2. They had some just, guys come off the bench and just knock down some three-pointers one after another in, especially game 1 where they came back from that 20-point deficit. Something you don't think is going to be repeatable, right? And it was a different guy that stepped up in each game, it felt like, for Indiana.
Yeah. My question is this. What's more likely to happen? If the Pacers win, Tyrese Haliburton's dad gets arrested for a felony, or if Oklahoma City wins, do the fans actually stand up out of the seats to celebrate the championship? Which more likely?
So we've gotten hate for that,
Okay, I just feel like so. Let me address the haters. I don't want to hate on OKC. I actually think it's a fun team to watch, and they're good fans.
Well,
They just seem so polite. We're in Boston, New York. We're used to the raucous, the screaming, the yelling. It's just very organized. So not a diss on the fans. It just is a very different kind of
you know what it is a
basketball game.
diss on the fans though? Them not letting in away.
You know that this is my issue. You got to win when everybody in the other arena hates you. That's how you got to be able to win. I just don't like locking out fans. Like Indiana hasn't been there in 25 years, and like you're not going to let them come get a ticket. Like I just don't think it's right. I think it's unsportsmanlike,
Especially because
and
it's not that far.
and I think it's soft. I think it's soft.
It is soft. Speaking of Indiana,
Yeah.
did you have Pascal Siakam or Tyrese Haliburton as MVP?
Well, it's a great question. I I think I slightly had Siakam, to be honest, but only by the very end of the series. After game 5, it's like, okay, Tyrese Haliburton is like, I mean, he just put a monster game up. He was super quiet, not wasn't super quiet, but Siakam, I feel like overall edged him out. I really do feel that way.
Yeah, he had the scoring numbers, right? 3 games with 30 plus points or whatever.
Yeah.
It just felt like at the key moment, and especially in crunch time, Tyrese Haliburton was the guy that sort of
Yeah.
closed out the games.
I don't disagree. Although there were some key plays by Siakam, even late, gets open, layup, so yeah, I mean, it's a similar debate, Brown versus Tatum. Like Brown deserved the MVP of the finals last year, but you kind of Tatum's the name that's in your head. Tyrese Halliburton's the name that's in your head. So I give him credit for actually giving it to Siakam,
Yeah. What would have been? I want to get this from you. What would have been the discourse from Celtics fans had Tyrese Haliburton won it, and he was not the better player in this series, as Jaylen Brown won it last year, Jason Tatum didn't win it. Like if Tyrese Haliburton had won it, the star, the 1A guy.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it was pretty close, to be honest. So I think I don't know if Celtics fans. I'll be honest. I don't think Celtics fans care who wins the MVP. I don't think we're losing any sleep one way or the other. We're already talking about what's it going to take to get Giannis.
I actually think there's a lot of Celtics fans rooting for Indiana this.
I actually think they are. I actually agree. I'm kind of rooting for Indiana.
Yeah.
But this is one of those series where and we may be in the minority here. I'm kind of happy who either wins. Doesn't matter.
I'm the other way, and we've talked about this before.
You want them both to lose.
I want Indiana win just because I think OKC could win the next 4 in a row. Like you don't like that, but like you think it's gonna be. I think we could see the end of parity in this league. Like,
and all you have to do is look at history. Other than the Warriors, the Nuggets unstoppable, the Bucks unstoppable, the Celtics unstoppable. None of them repeated.
I know, but this team's so young, and they're not a salary team. Like they'll become.
I know.
They're gonna become a salary, but only for their first year. So you can do it 2-3 years in a row.
They have that advantage, that's sure. But everybody adapts, right? Like you don't think the Wolves are already on the prowl to figure out how to get through OKC? You don't think the Lakers are thinking about that? Like, fine, the West, maybe the NBA championship runs through Oklahoma. Everybody's like, how do we take down the Celtics? How do we take down? Everybody's going to adjust their rosters to attack that.
The last 2 champions, or if the Thunder win, the last 2 champions, you need a star player, a All NBA player. You need a guy named Jalen. You need a white guy that plays defense, and you need a 7'3" unicorn.
That's your recipe for success?
What do you mean? It's gonna be true.
All right. So you're saying if you keep growing to 7'3", you could be that unicorn?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I mean, you're only 6'2", 6'3", so you got a long way to go.
Give me on my money.
Yeah. You'll be 6'1", 6 flat. All right. By the way, we are accepting sponsorships so he can stand on more money. If you'd like to sponsor this show, please leave us a comment. We'll reach out.
All right, bro. More on this series. Starts Thursday, obviously, so there's time. to game plan or whatever. I think a major difference in this series is going to be this kid Lou Dort. Lou Dort is a football player, a linebacker out there.
He's physical.
He's probably 6'6", 6'7" maybe, but he is as wide as he is tall. Like, this guy is humongous, and he just basically clamps down the best player on the opposing team.
Yeah,
like
he's
impressive. Yeah. Here's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
The Thunder and the Pacers both don't turn the ball over much. I think Pacers were maybe the best team at not turning the ball over in the regular season. I don't have the exact numbers, but the Thunder forced the most turnovers. Right, that's how they score their points.
Yeah.
The Pacers don't force that many turnovers. They just score before the other team can get back on defense.
Yeah, they do a good job converting turnovers quickly, for sure.
The Thunder, yeah. Like, that's what the Thunder are going to do. So that's why I'm worried in this series if you're Indiana, because you're not going to get that advantage of scoring before the other team's back on defense. But I think the Thunder are going to be able to force slightly more turnovers, right? You're not going to force as many turnovers as you did against the Wolves, because the Indiana are a very disciplined team in terms of turning the ball over. But I just think, the Thunder are going to be able to slightly keep their advantage, whereas I think the Indiana will absolutely erase their advantage.
Yeah, I think there'll be fun games to watch. It'll be interesting to see as we go through the series, like, what actually happens, what are the dynamics. It never quite plays out exactly like you think, because everybody makes adjustments. So let me change topics slightly, though. Let's just assume the Thunder win here. When is the next time the East will win the finals?
That's a great question. It could be a while, to be honest.
It could be a while.
Apparently, there's 14 teams next season that could compete for a championship in the West.
Well,
I think it's more like 12, but like 14 teams that are going to come into the season trying to compete for a championship at first. That's what people say. I think it's more like 12. I don't
even think it's really that high, but it's definitely 8 tough teams.
Well, I don't think it's going to be the Portland Trailblazers or the Suns even, or maybe the Kings either. But they all think they're all going to come into the season thinking they can.
Let's put that aside, because who in the East actually has a legitimate.
Pacers are the best team in the East right
now. Pacers, maybe in 2 years the Celtics, depending on moves they make, but not next year, right? No. I mean, obviously they'll be good but like Cavs
should be good again next year.
Should be.
I mean,
look,
I'm trying to think of any
Knicks were good, Pistons were good, but Magic were okay, but none of those guys are gonna be able to get there.
Is this a bold take to say the top 3 teams in the East next year are going to be Indiana, number 1 record, Knicks, number 2 record, Cavs, number 3 record?
I think so.
It also feels like Indiana, they're not a regular season team. It seems like they play their best basketball in the playoffs.
Maybe. You think the Knicks build on this, or do you think they regress?
Depends what they do. There's possibility of trading Cat, so that could change everything up.
I mean, why would they trade him?
The defense.
I mean, I don't see how you trade him and get better.
I was looking at Cat, right? And I talked about this last night. But you look at what Cat did. The reason that, he struggled is not because he had bad defense, right? It's because he made all these sort of sloppy, undisciplined fouls.
Yeah.
That in crunch time, he can't be on the court because he's in foul trouble, and so he can't provide offensively.
I know. I think that's exactly right. He made very undisciplined fouls.
But when he was trying to play defense correctly, he was not a bad defender. Like, he was able to, contest shots and whatever.
But I got to be honest, I don't see the East winning this year. I don't see the East winning next year. I'm not even sure I see the East winning the year after. That's just, I don't know. I mean, Maybe. I mean, if the Pacers really are the best team in the East,
You got a problem.
I think we're cooked, right? Like, and I actually don't think they are. Not to take credit away from the run, they're on a tear. I don't actually think they're the best team in the East, though.
Yeah. That's why Giannis wants to stay in the East, right? If he gets traded, he doesn't want to go to a team. A team like the Spurs has the best, sort of options to get him.
Yeah.
But especially with their, rookie of the year, their draft picks and whatever.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to go there because you don't want to compete against all that in the West. Whereas you stay in the East, you're an automatic, Eastern Conference champion. It seems like, or at least second round.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could the Pistons take a next step?
I feel like Pistons Magic, like I feel like
Magic got to get an offensive player.
Yeah, but I feel like those are like they're kind of like Sacramento a little bit, right? Like they're ready to go. I don't know if they'll do it. They've got a good core. They've got they're good teams.
Mm-hmm.
It takes so much though to get to the next level. I don't know. Are they going to spend? Is Orlando going to spend what it takes? I don't know. Is
funny,
Detroit
right?
going to spend what it takes?
Yeah, the Orlando was one of the worst offensive teams, but one of the second best defensive team in the league or whatever. You get one offensive player, you can bump up a couple spots just on a guy that can make a couple threes.
You're saying Porzingis?
I mean, your best player or second best player is a center, so
True.
I don't know if you want to go for a Porzingis route. I actually think, quick topic change here, I think Porzingis stays on the Celtics because he's a free agent at the end of the season. You don't know if you're going to get a center. He's not worth anything right now, being so injured and whatever.
I disagree.
What are you going to get?
I think, the place he should go is the Lakers. It's such a no-brainer. They only need 40 games out of him.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
You really only need 40 or 50 games all season, including the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe 60, whatever. But like, he could be on an Al Horford every other game kind of model. So, but I don't think
I don't know if we want to be in the habit of trading with the Lakers. I don't know if it's best for business.
Well, here's the question, right? Like, maybe you would help them win a championship. I don't know, but I think you could get incredible value, right? Because 1 year left. How many years does LeBron have left? Like
one most. He should retire this year, but
I know, but he's amazing. He should retire. He plays. He
could low-key play to 45 at this level, or not at this level, but at this health.
He's probably got 2 more years like this, give or take, but he's got injury risk and whatever. So you've got this window with Luka now. Like, you would give up a lot to actually contend with him, right?
You would take maybe rookie Dalton Connect. Maybe they would do that trade for Porzingis. Maybe.
I don't know. Like, I feel like unless you're Brad Stevens, you tell me, right? I don't see us actually contending next year.
Yeah, people think that this team is gonna suck. Like, I think a Jaylen Brown. Yeah, I think a Jaylen Brown-led team is still a top 8 team in the East at least.
For sure.
Maybe even top 6. Maybe you're even in the playoffs without risking the play-in tournament. Which is why
I think there's
how much do you want to give away?
Yeah, I think there really is a good chance. I think maybe they wait on what does Al Horford do? Can you do it with Al and Cornette?
I think Al should just retire, to be honest.
He loves it though, right?
I know, but I don't want to risk paying him. Like, just have him retired and let this team look forward to getting a center for the future, whether that be Cornette or someone else. I
don't know. I think it's interesting because if you don't think you can win it all, then you should maximize value and move pieces and look forward. If you think Tatum can come back and you can win it all, then that argues to keep stuff more together. I think the truth is they're going to be hard pressed to get through the West, let alone to get through the Pacers again next year. It's not that I don't want him to try, but I kind of want him to reset so we actually can be competitive in the 3 years after.
Right.
We got it. If we get below the apron, we got some flexibility. right? Like part of the reason why
you gotta be below the apron for 2 years.
no, even below for 1 year helps you.
Yes, but I think you have to it's 3 out of the 4 years you have to be in the apron. So they gotta get out for 2 years.
But even if you get below the second apron for 1 year, more stuff comes online, right?
That's true. The pay doesn't go down, I don't think, but you unlock some of the
like you can move, you can do more deals, like so the thing, like looking at will Giannis come to the Celtics, right? Like
I mean that's been thrown out there. It's pretty unlikely, but
it's pretty unlikely.
It could.
Well, as I said, part of the reason why it's unlikely is it's really hard to make that deal work given the restrictions.
Right.
So, like, if you want to try and win in the years to come, we've got to,
I'm wondering. I don't think it's a great idea, but we can quickly talk about this. There's not much to talk about here, but does Brad Stevens risk trading Brown, maybe White, maybe Holiday, not all three of them, but maybe 2 out of the 3 to go for a Giannis like that? Like,
I mean,
you add in a Sam Hauser or something, like, would he risk giving up 2 starters for 1 starter? Like,
well, I think you have to if you want to drop salary, right?
I mean, you could just trade Jrue Holiday for a center in Dallas. I mean, that's been thrown out there. We did a full video on that the other day.
Yeah, it's true.
Although it seems like that's becoming unlikely. Apparently,
hang on. Put a pin there. You think Dallas is going to be legit next year?
I mean, how can't you be? You have Cooper Flag. You have AD. You have. That's why you get a guard. You get Jrue Holiday. Yeah.
Kyrie's coming off injury.
Right, but Kyrie's not playing for most. Kyrie's not playing for most of the season. So you put Jrue Holiday in place of Kyrie.
He's going to have to shoot. He's going to have to put up points though. I mean, Jrue Holiday is not a 20-point a night guy.
Can you get 15 from Cooper Flag rookie year?
That's asking a lot. You can, but that's asking a lot.
I mean, he's no Baylor Shireman, but
I mean, who is? So I don't know.
Baylor Shireman should be our 6th man of the year next year.
We'll see how he develops.
But you get 23 from AD, 15 from Holiday's
I'm just saying Holiday. When Kyrie's a scorer, not a defender.
Yeah,
you need a scorer in Dallas, right?
Probably.
Plus, you got to worry about AD's health too. So it's not like you can play him Knicks style, 50 minutes a game.
I mean, yeah.
So but we'll see. We'll see.
I came in after the Celtics went down and we started talking about offseason, whatever. I didn't think many teams were going to want Jrue Holiday, given his high salary and him having a decline this year in production. There's a lot of teams out there that could use a Jrue Holiday and that have reached out apparently to the Celtics and said, maybe a trade for Jrue Holiday, right? There's obviously Dallas, the Clippers have asked for a guy like Jrue Holiday. The Kings, right, to play with, a guy like Sabonis or something.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of teams want a guy like Jrue Holiday. So
I think Jrue Holiday makes a lot of teams better. Mm-hmm. Right?
There's a lot of players on this team that could make another team better. That's sort of how they won the championship.
Yeah. I mean, I sort of feel like the play here has got to be you're going to have to move assets. You're going to have to drop salary. I think you got to let Jrue go. I personally would let Porzingis go. I would try to – I think you got to look forward. None of these – Al's not going to be here. Porzingis not going to be here. Maybe Cornet if they sign him. But so you got to I'd let Hauser go. And I think you got to bring up the Shiremans in the next levels to be the next Hauser on a cost-efficient model. Yeah. You just got to dump like $80 million here so that you can get some flexibility to make a run when you're ready.
You don't even need to dump $80. You only need to dump like 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you want to be right on the level. Like, if you're going to have a decline anyway, is it worth getting – here's where I'm wondering, and we don't know. We'll never know until they decide what to do. Is it worth trying to go way below or staying right under? You go way below, you're not even trying to contend this year.
Right.
But you stay close. Maybe you get a guy like Baylor Shireman some early playoff experience where he actually plays maybe next season. You get
maybe Tatum comes back 45, 6 or 8 weeks earlier than anticipated, and actually,
Yeah, I
so
mean, for an injury like that, we've talked about this before. He had the best sort of
yeah,
scenarios to happen. So like,
best outcome of a bad situation. But
yeah,
we'll see. That's all in the past. He's already
yeah.
rehabbing
So they
PT.
yeah. So apparently, right, Celtics send out a little post or whatever on social media the next day saying Jason Tatum will undergo surgery and uh, you know, wish him luck or whatever. Like, right, they were already 12 hours into surgery when they said that. Like,
Well, it's not a 12-hour surgery, but yes, they'd
what?
already like.
No, he was already out of the surgery and
Yeah, that's what I
recovered.
mean. He was already done.
That's what I'm saying. No, they did it that night. Like,
Yeah,
that he
I
got
think they
injured.
did it in the morning.
Well, they were in New York. I think they went right in that night and did it or something like that, or
I don't know.
maybe the morning. But they sent it out at like 11, and he probably had already finished the surgery by 9 o'clock and
Oh
was
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. First surgery is like 6:30 in the morning. Yeah.
yeah. So he had already finished it. He was, you know, on a bus back home or something or
Oh
whatever.
no, he was in the hospital multiple days.
Really?
Yeah,
They leave? Really? You don't think? Maybe.
yeah. I think they normally you could probably be outpatient on that. I bet they just kept him.
Didn't want him on those. Yeah.
Watch for infection. Like, they were going to take no chances. He had nowhere to be. So
Mhm.
I bet, I mean, we could probably find out, but I think he spent an extra day or two there just to be safe.
Um, about a week ago, Jaylen Brown actually, stopped by a shop in Boston, whatever, and was talking to fans, and you know, he was planning on being there only like 20 or so minutes, but he spent 6 hours there,
Wow.
just talking to fans, whatever, interviews and whatever. Right? He was like, we were supposed to be playing right now, so I'm not playing. I got nothing to do. Why not make it up to my fans and go sit there and?
I like that.
But yeah, we'll wrap it up here. Final thoughts on a Pacers Thunder series. How can the Pacers even steal a game here, make it competitive? Or maybe you don't even steal a game, but you can keep the score within 10 points each game, no blowouts.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say. I just want to see good games.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to see OKC win by 40. That's just not fun.
I would prefer, I think, a series where the Thunder sweep, but each game is a within 10 points, versus a game where maybe the Thunder win in 5, where Pacers steal one game, but every other game is a 20, 30-point blowout. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's better. Here's the last thing: viewership. You get two small market teams. How does this work for the NBA? Is it better to have a two-star or like big market teams that everyone knows, or is it better to have a series that goes long? Which is better?
It's better to have big market teams every time.
Even if it's a 4-game series versus a 7-game series,
I
that's
think
three
so.
extra games of making money.
Because I think you get like 3x the viewers. That's right. I think it's like.
Although, I mean, Tyrese Haliburton, SGA, they're fun stars to watch.
Totally.
I feel like you're going to get, a decent viewership. Maybe it's
you're
not
not
the
getting-
same as a
You're
Celtics.
not going to get New York Knicks fans or New York to watch. They're like
Really?
probably angry. Although I think a lot of Celtics fans have stayed on to watch the Pacers more than
Celtics
you would
fans
have.
have been doing
Yeah.
something called hate watching. They've been doing these streams for
Yeah.
on playback and whatever for Knicks games, Pacers games, and they've been just like hate watching, trying to,
Yeah. But you're not getting nobody in LA is watching this series. You know what I
Really?
mean? Like you're just not. So,
So then the NBA is losing. So why are Boston fans? They just hate New York so much that they want the Pacers.
I don't know. Maybe it's just folks on this show. We should do
No.
a survey.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are gonna. I don't know.
Leave us a comment below. If you're gonna watch just to watch, let us know.
Fair enough.
All right.
But yeah, we'll wrap it up here. Follow on social media. We will have a couple videos this week on, maybe highlights, film reviews. See if Pacers can get anything out of their stars. Another thing, real quick, there are a lot of guys that went down with injuries in that series, ankles or whatever. That could be a problem for Indiana.
Could be.
Yeah.
Will be.
I think so. I think you're gonna miss two guys like a Neesmith or a Nimhard. It's gonna cause a problem.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they'll play, but they're not gonna be 100%.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right.
Until next time, go Celtics and go Pacers.
Go Celtics. Go Pacers.
I don't know, maybe.
It's over. Time to say it again, Boston. Anything's possible. Banner number 18 has been secured.